Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to be talking to you about communication. There's always room for improvement, but guess what? As you can see, I'm in a little bit different environment. I have had the pleasure of being able to be here, coming to you live today from the Lightspeed VT headquarters in Las Vegas, Nevada. So really excited to share what we're going to be talking to you about today. I'm going to have a guest joining us in just a few moments. Juan from Juan More Life on Instagram and YouTube. You can share just a little bit more about that in just a moment when he gets here. But first, there's a few things that I would like to talk to you about in regards to communication. Communication is one of those things that we need to be able to constantly improve and work on because every single one of us communicates just a little bit different. We each have different backgrounds, we each have different ways of saying things, and words really matter and make a difference when we're using them. One of the things that I've done to really help and improve my communication throughout time has been looking up words that I didn't know. Even if I thought I knew what the definition was, I have really taken a lot of time to find out what a word means so I can make sure I use it in the most appropriate way. So I felt like today would be a really good one to talk about and focus on, because as we move through life, when you want to really focus on something that's important to you, it's also important to know and understand what words to use to make sure that you're manifesting what you want. A simple change in a word will make a huge difference when you move forward to try to manifest a goal or hit a target or be in a certain place where you want to be. So I have 3 things that I wanted to talk to you about and bring up in talking about communication. So first of all, you have to know what you want to improve and what communication you want to or I guess what relationships or where you want to improve your communication. If you try to improve everything all at once, it's not going to be very productive. So take small bite sizes and small chunks and pieces when you decide that you're ready to move forward and start working specifically on communication. So there are different areas of communication. So you have relationships, business, community, other aspects like that for you to be thinking about and aware of when you're trying to decide what kind of communication you want to start working on. The next one is to research and find a method to improve your communication that's going to work best for you. There's a lot of different pieces of information that you can find out there to improve your communication. You can go to the library, look it up on YouTube, lots of different sources for communication. So find the one that's going to work best for you, and then review some different aspects of communication. Have a good understanding of the different ways and the different areas that you can communicate with other people. And it's not just about the words that we use. It's about our body language. It's about our responses. It's about how we're listening. It's also about the words. So again, if you want to improve the words that you're using, make sure that you understand really well the definitions so that you're using the right word for what you're trying to communicate or where you're trying to go. And the other one that I wanted to bring up was, once you get all of this information, it can be really overwhelming. So pick 2 or 3, maybe just one that you want to work on. Work on that one, refine it, really get it incorporated into what you're doing, and then add another one into your communication. So this may be a specific body language. Maybe it's sitting tall with your feet flat. Maybe it's understanding the kind of word that you want to use. Maybe it's just focusing on your relationships or your communication in business or with your community. if you try to do all of it at once, it's going to feel really overwhelming. Okay, so our guest has arrived, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce Juan.
Sorry I'm late.
Juan is the boss, my boss, and he is pretty awesome. He also has his own site, so why don't you go ahead and just quickly introduce yourself and where people can find you.
Alright, Juan More Life is where you can find me. My name is Juan Marquez, but I created this alter ego of Juan More and I use it for everything. But that's where you can find me. You can find me on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and it's all across the board, Juan More Life. No, and I'm happy Georgia came out here, even though she's leaving today. And then,
wish I could stay longer.
Yeah, you could, because the monthly meeting's tomorrow, so it'd be great to have you there for sure. But no, I'm excited for this. I've been waiting for this because she told me about this live before she even got here, so I was like, I was fully prepped, but I'm like,
that's business.
That's
you gotta
business.
make sure you take care of what you need to take care of.
Oh man, but I was listening to you talk about like the communication and things like that, and there's a lot of things where like, you know, I thought I communicated very well, but it kind of, I realized that I would like within my communication I would say the same thing in multiple different ways because I didn't know which way was gonna fit with that person's, because every person needs a different delivery. Oh,
absolutely, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that delivery, I didn't know how to know them enough to know which way to take, nor did I know the difference. I just kept saying this shit, and I was like, okay, I'm making sense. But so that's something I'm still currently working on, is knowing who that person is that I'm talking to, and knowing how to deliver the message that I want to get through to them. And that's something that I'm currently working on as well.
Yeah. So he just reiterated kind of what I mentioned in the very beginning, that all of us communicate just a little bit different with our backgrounds, our understanding, our personalities.
Yeah.
So we're in sales.
Right.
And is communication in sales, is that any different than communicating outside of business?
Shit. I want to say yes, because when you're communicating in business, it's specific to one thing, right? Like, you know, and you've been saying this, like, you've been talking about this product or talking about the company every day for so long, you just know what to say, how to say it, and where to say it. Whereas outside of work, I'm very antisocial too, by the way. Outside of business, it's funny. But outside of business or outside of the office, it's a little more difficult to have a conversation. One, because it depends, like, for example, me, I'm fully embedded and invested into this business and what this company is doing, that, like, it's all I talk about, it's all I think about, like, it's just that. So, like, trying to have a social life outside of here, it's a little difficult because I don't want to be that guy who's just always talking about work with specific friends. Like, obviously I still have my circle where that's all we talk about, business and growing and what we can do different, how we can improve and things like that. And that's what I ultimately love talking about. But I also do have those friends where I think it's important to have them where there's not an actual business relationship going on. It's just more like, hey, let's just go hang out, have fun, play some fucking Mario Kart, smoke some weed maybe, I don't know, and just chill, like, you know. So it's kind of different outside of work, but I have to be able to like switch between the two.
So are there 3 things that you feel like anybody that's watching could use to improve their communication?
Ooh, okay, yes. I think talking to yourself is one of them. I do that on a daily basis. I have my stream, and sometimes I forget the chat is there, but I'm still talking to me. So talking to yourself is one huge one, because you get to listen to yourself talk, and whether how dumb you sound or how, you know, smart you sound, you're able to be real with yourself.
So that kind of implies that you're not always like just, yeah, you're so awesome, you're so great. That implies that you said you're being real with yourself.
Yeah.
So you're like pointing out, hey, maybe I could have done this better, or
Correct.
Maybe go into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So, for example, there's a lot of things that I do where I feel disappointed in myself. Like, let's say I go out for a weekend. And I know I deserve it maybe because of how hard I fucking work. But like, if I go out on a Friday night, that Saturday day, I'm like, fuck, dude, like, why? Like, you know, I kind of feel like a piece of shit about it. So, but I talk myself through it, right? So it's like, you know, I acknowledge it at first. It's like, why do you feel like a piece of shit? So I'm like able to be real with myself. Or if I actually do something that I shouldn't have done, those are one of the hardest conversations to have with myself, but they need to happen. Or else it's just gonna sit there and forever be like holding space in your head. Where it's like, what do you want? You only have so much memory in your head that you could use up, that you need to be very specific with what's in there. And if it's something bad, I highly suggest getting it out, because nobody's gonna be realer than you. Nobody's gonna be more real to you than yourself, and nobody's gonna be as honest to you as yourself. So I think it's very important to talk to yourself for the good and the bad, just as equally important.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
thank you. Okay, so
right.
The other two.
The other two. All right. Oh shit, that was just one. Yeah, that's right. Fuck, you don't want me cursing.
No, that was loaded.
Okay.
That was loaded.
What was this? Oh yeah, the other two. All right. So talking to yourself, and then I think picking up a conversation with a stranger, like.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so like if you could, for example, and this is more of a business perspective that I have, but if I could just randomly talk to any kind of stranger and they have something or do something that may fit my product, if I could relay that message within the first 5 minutes of our conversation, like I'm doing pretty well with communication. Like I know what to say and how to say it in a clear way. But I do that for both business and like relationships, as far as friends or anything like that. Like I think just starting new conversations with brand new people would definitely help you grow your communication skills for sure. And then that third one, what were yours? Did you have any?
So mine were first identify like what area, like how you want to improve your communication.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's like business or community or relationships.
Right.
And then research the type of communication. There's so much information out there about communication. And then just pick 1, 2, 3 different ones you want to focus and work on.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. My third one, I'm gonna say read books.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Read
Actually,
books.
that's a really good one.
Yeah. Because in the book, they deliver the message so clearly, straightforward, and simple as possible, where in your mind, in my mind, whenever I'm reading, whatever they just explained, I think in images. So I start thinking of all these things and elaborating on it and advancing on that thought, where it's like when it comes down to it, it was just simply put like this, and I started thinking about everything else. So you kind of have to put yourself in the other side, where it's like, if you were to communicate this to somebody, you would have to hope or maybe think that they're going to develop on that basic explanation. So it's like you kind of get to see both sides of it.
Yeah. I love that. So Bradley, who we work for or with, is always encouraging us to read so that we can improve our communication. So I love that you brought that out. And then, if you can get an image in your mind about what you're reading, it's such a great example of how to communicate, because if you can get somebody to feel or see what you're saying, the communication is just naturally going to improve that way. Like it's such a great model for good communication and lots of different types of communication. I want to go back to you talking to strangers.
Okay.
How do you get over the nervousness of just striking up a conversation if you're kind of more like me and you're introverted or you're really comfortable in your group of people, but talking to strangers is just not a comfort zone?
I think a couple shots of tequila.
I guess that would work.
So aside from just that is one of them, by the way. So like if I'm at a bar, at a lounge or something, like absolutely, like that confidence juice really helps a lot. But I think just striking up a conversation just randomly, like I can't just, if somebody's just relaxing there minding their business, like I won't just go up to them and start a conversation. That's kind of like off-putting, and you have to set the tone. It's a lot more difficult, right? But if like, let's say Georgia and I are relaxing and there's this group next to us and they're like laughing, chit-chatting, something happens, or like there has to be some kind of like eye contact, like touching of shoulders, something for me to initiate a conversation, or like them just like ask a question so out loud, and like it's just that how do I explain this? Damn, talk about communication, right? Trying to get this through. It's just knowing when your opening is, knowing when to start that. Because again, if somebody's just sitting there relaxing, minding their business, I probably more than likely would not start a conversation with them, because I don't like disturbing people's peace. But if they're not in a peaceful state, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but if they're just like, you could tell when somebody's open to a conversation. Yeah. You could tell when a group is open to somebody else coming in and joining in and things like that. So it's just, you have to find that opening for you to be able to start that.
Which is kind of another way of communication. Like reading the body language. Yes. Like we talk a lot about body language and tonality when working with sales, because it's important to understand how to convey the message that you're trying to share. And like again, like we all have improvement areas for communication, but yeah, it's like understanding how to communicate with somebody else is also understanding the right time to communicate with them. Yes. One of the things I recently read was, you know, you're not going to go and talk to your partner or your friend, your spouse, when they're mad about something that's difficult or challenging to talk about. You know, honey, I gotta talk to you about, you know, this thing that's like really hard for you. I know you had a bad day. Let's make time to talk right now.
That's insane.
So like understanding when the right time to approach or talk to somebody, when it's safe to approach or talk to somebody is also really important when you're talking to strangers. So yeah, there's a lot that you can learn about it. These are just some basic things for you to work off of. Do you have anything else you want to wrap up, or last messages you want to share?
Don't be afraid to start a conversation either. So it's like, literally, I look at, like, if somebody randomly came up to you and said something, like, you would for sure engage in conversation. You probably, more than likely, if you're good people, like, you probably wouldn't be, I can curse, right?
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. You more than likely, yeah, this is true. You more than likely wouldn't be a dick. You would answer whatever question they have. So it's like, put yourself in the person's shoes that you're about to start a conversation to. Like, how would you respond? If you would respond in a polite way, and if you just didn't want to have the conversation, again, it comes to that body language. But don't be afraid to start any kind of conversation. You have no idea what that can become or what that can be curated into. So talk to anybody and everybody, but, you know, just read the room, read the body language as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I mean, don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
Something that Juan just did was he asked, is it okay if I swear? Like, don't be afraid to ask those uncomfortable questions, because they're going to be able to help you get clarity on where the boundaries are for yourself and the other person, and just try different things out. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next Tuesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a good one.
Amazing. Bye. Thanks, Georgia.